Thank you, everybody, for coming out this morning. I appreciate everybody getting out on such a cold morning. We are here today to celebrate the creation of the Equal Business Opportunity Program in Nashville. It's a program which will level the playing field for the first time with Metro government for minority and women-owned businesses. As I've been saying here frequently, equal opportunity, equal prosperity in our community is my top priority. I know the Metro Council shares that sentiment with me. And I believe that Nashville needs to support all its residents in this moment of great prosperity to make sure everyone gets a chance to see their fullest potential realized. For far too long in Nashville itself, Metro government has been an obstacle, has been an impediment to people reaching their fullest potential. The long-standing disparities in terms of Metro government awarding its contracts to minority and women-owned businesses needs to come to an end. And there are many people in this room and people outside this room who for decades have been pushing this city to do that. It was well past time that the city took action. So just a few days ago, we did it. I'm very pleased to see that the Metro Council overwhelmingly, in fact, unanimously approved the legislation that I proposed. The entire council, who are here today, many of whom are here today. I want to acknowledge those who I've seen: Council Lady Haywood, Council Lady Allen, Council Lady Weiner, Councilman Bedney, Council Lady Blaylock, Council Lady Gilmore, Councilman John Cooper, Councilman Hall, are all here with us today. And I want to say thank you to each and every one of you personally for your persistence and diligence as representatives of the people of this community, making sure that this took place. Councilman Scott Davis is going to get a chance to speak, so I'll acknowledge him in just a minute as well. I'd also like to acknowledge the members of the administration that worked hard on this, especially Ashford Hughes, my Chief Equity and Inclusion Officer here in the Mayor's office, Michelle Hernandez-Lane, who's worked hard on this issue for many years as Metro's Chief Procurement Officer. The Metro Finance Office worked very hard on this. Crying Babies worked very hard on this. The Business Assistance Office staff worked hard on this. Just in one of my first things that I did when I was sworn in as mayor was to name Minority Business Advisory Council, and they were very helpful in moving this forward as a community. As mayor, I get to speak on behalf of the entire county, every resident of this city. And so I want to now say on behalf of every resident of metropolitan Nashville and Davidson County, thank you to everybody who worked on this. There are many people who are not in the room, and for many years they persisted. They saw this problem. They saw this inequity, and they worked hard as members of this city to push us forward to do the right thing in Nashville. I'll also be taking several steps from a regulatory standpoint through executive action to make sure that our procurement process is even more equitable, transparent, and effective. Together, these legislative and executive actions will level the playing field in Nashville. So today, as I sign this unanimously approved legislation into law, we begin a new era of procurement here in Nashville. Over the next 4 months, my office, in partnership with the Metro Business Assistance Office and community partners, will host community conversations across Nashville to introduce and explain the new Equal Business Opportunity Program, so that business owners and community members are aware and understand the changes that are taking place and providing new opportunities to people in our community. Over this time frame, we'll be looking for ways to increase and unify our small business ecosystem and make certain that we put in place a top flight business capacity building program, because because we want to make sure that these businesses grow in this prosperous time in our community. It is my job, it is the Metro Council's job, it is the city's job to help create an environment in which every single business has an opportunity to benefit in this moment of prosperity. And when we do it right, it's the smart thing to do, and it will create an example for the private sector to follow. So I want to say once again, thank you to everyone who participated. Thank you to everybody who brought this forward. Thanks to everybody who fought for many years to make sure that the city did the right thing. I also want to acknowledge Councilman Jason Potts, who didn't acknowledge before, and Councilman Larry Hager, who has joined us since coming in. I got Berkeley. So, thanks again very much. I would like to ask the three sponsors of this legislation to come forward and offer some comments if they'd like to. Councilman Scott Davis, Council Lady Sharon Hurt, and Council Lady Taneka Virtue, if you'd like to come forward. But before you do, I'd like to sort of fix the fact that I didn't acknowledge Councilman Scott Davis at the beginning and say that he in the council has worked really hard on this, and I thank him for his persistence and endeavors in moving this forward. So if y'all would like to come up.
As lead sponsor, I like to yield to the president of the Minority Caucus, so you can go ahead and speak first, Councilman Davis.
I want to thank everybody for being here. Can you hear me? It is a tough job in the city. And many months ago, when the new Mayor Briley came in, because we've already had a Mayor Briley before, the new Mayor Briley, we asked him to his face, do you have the political will to do this? He said yes. Sometimes we disagree, but many times we agree. And I want to thank him for keeping his word and having the political will to do that. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate it. As a son of an immigrant and as a son of an African-American Jew, I really understand, and both my parents haven't been business owners in this city. We know the struggles that minority business men and women go through, especially women in this city. And I'd be remiss if I didn't thank our Chair Emeritus, Erica Gilmore, for all the help she gave to, and all my council colleagues out there. There's so many of you here today. I can't name you all because I want to be brief, but I have to. This could not have been possible without the leadership of Taneka Virtue and my Vice Chair, Sharon Hurt. I lean on these ladies a lot. You know, when there's times of need, they get things done. And I want all of you out there to continue to support these young women and as they rise and they keep moving forward, because I'm term limited and I'll be at home watching and praying with the rest of you, but they will continue on, and I am very proud of them. And I really appreciate your efforts, lady. I don't say that enough, but when I see you guys, and when I see you guys fight for us, when I see you on Jefferson Street, when I see you at the school board, when I see you leading the merchants, when I see you as chair of the Budget and Finance Committee, my heart sings. And I want to thank all of you, and thank you for folks like Sister Gilmore that paved the way for us. Thank y'all. God bless you. Thank you, Mayor Briley.
Good morning. I'm Councilwoman Taneka Virtue, and I believe you can never thank someone publicly enough. Mayor, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Many of us in this room knows that a feat such as this wouldn't be possible without the support of an administration. This legislation was passed overwhelmingly by this body, which says that, one, we knew it was needed. It was long overdue. I'm going to name those that was critical in providing feedback for this legislation, because I think it's important. that we be on record identifying those organizations. They put in a lot of sweat equity into this bill and ensuring that it was passed. They held our feet to the fire, many meetings with the Minority Advisory Council, many meetings with the administration, many meetings with council members. So I think it's important for everyone to know that this didn't happen overnight. It's been a long, arduous process, and it's been many stakeholders that was part of collaborating, leaving their biases outside the door so we could have candid conversations as it relates to equity and removing barriers in the city, and ultimately just how we do business as a city. So I would be remiss if I didn't thank the NAACP, the IMF, the Buffalo PAC, again, the administration, my council colleagues, Mr. Ashford Hughes. Ashford, I don't want to give your title because I always mess it up. It's so long. We need to work on that too. It's a long title. The finance team, and again, just colleagues in the community. This is historic, and we can't leave that out of the narrative as it relates to this legislation. This is historic. This is a huge moment for this city. And I said it on third reading when this was passed. This is something all of us can be proud of. It's a huge moment. It's a defining moment for this city, not only just for the administration, but for this body, for this council body. I'm just overjoyed that this has come to fruition while I was actually be on council. Many mayors have tried, have taken many bites. Michelle shaking her head, yes, so you know. But this mayor, Mayor Briley, and again, you can never thank someone enough publicly. He kept his word. And many of you know this day and time, this political climate, that means everything. But the work isn't done yet once Mayor signs it. The work isn't done yet. The charge is for you, for all of us, is to make sure that we tell our constituents within your respective organizations, your affiliations, that we're not doing business the same way anymore. It's a new day for Metro government. We're removing barriers and the opportunity is there. There's no more excuses. So we need to encourage them to come back to the table. Come back. You know, it's a new day now. This legislation that the mayor will be signing, that's just the first part of it. The second part of it is us. We have to make sure that we're encouraging the community to come back and do business with Metro. Let's remove those old hurts. We're beyond that today. Today is a new day, and I'll go ahead and turn it over to Councilwoman at Large, Sharon Hurd.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I was trying to stand here to figure out what it is I'm going to say, being that my colleagues made those brief comments. I thank Councilman Davis for calling me young. And Councilwoman Virgin says that we're going to forgive all those hurts before she called up Sharon Hurt. But I do also want to thank our mayor, because it took courage to do what he did. And you know, I heard once that they said that a tall man is a tall man, but a short man is all man. And this week, he is all man. And I certainly appreciate him for what it is that he has done. This is a great week for Nashville. It's a great week for Tennessee. And I am so proud to call myself a Nashvillian. It is historic, and I am so pleased with the efforts that have been made and the tangible evidence of it as we see in this legislation. There will be accountability and enforcement, and that I am very proud of. It's meat in this legislation, and I cannot move aside and take my seat without, and there are a lot of people that can be recognized in this, but I cannot take my seat without recognizing the Queen Mother, Marilyn Robinson, because I know she was mentored to me. She's been mentored to many, and she started these disparity studies. And for that, we are grateful to you, and we thank you for all that you've done, and you know I'm loving the red hat.
I had no idea I was short until she said that. Was she talking about me? She was talking about me? So I'm going to step down and sign the legislation. I'm going to ask the members of the Metro Council to come behind me. But because this is an important moment for the city, anybody else who feels like this is the right thing to do, anybody else who ever worked on this effort, anybody else who wants to see a more equitable Nashville, I'm going to ask you to come stand behind the members of the Metro Council as well.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information about this and other programs, visit nashville.org.